Hello, hi ladies. It is Diana Marchand and I am going back. I'm doing a video actually today about how do you know you are in menopause? What are some of the symptoms? So this is for people who have been Googling and like going, I don't know, do I have some symptoms? Because here's the thing, I started going through this at the age of 43 and that I'm 57 now. So that was a lot of years ago. I was completely finished by the age of 48. And so when I started going through it so early, I really had no idea what it was. And my doctors, of course, when I went to my doctors to get a whole bunch of tests done, and we'll talk about the symptoms in a few minutes, they're like, I don't know, everything seems to be fine. Just take this, do this, whatever. And I'm like, when I went back again after I had done some research, they're like, you're too young. You're not even close to 50 yet. And women don't even start till they're 50. So if you are experiencing some of the symptoms, we are going to talk about it in this video, and you are close to the age of 40 or over, then this could be what's going on with you. And remember, really it is, so during adolescence, we go through a great hormonal change too. They call it adolescence, right? And that can be, that age now is growing and expanding and it's so variable now. Well, the same thing with midlife. When you're in midlife, so when you're going through the midlife change for women, it is like going through an adolescence, except reverse. So during adolescence, your progesterone increases because progesterone is the hormone that helps you get pregnant, helps you during pregnancy. And when we are in this midlife phase, your progesterone starts to decrease. It's the first hormone that really starts to decrease. So it is harder to get pregnant as you get older. All right, so what is menopause? What does it mean? How do you know you're even in it? Well, the important thing to know is perimenopause is what you really want to be concerned about. Perimenopause is the first changes that go on, okay? So when you first notice the symptoms, which we're going to talk about, you are starting perimenopause. Actually, it just means your hormones are starting to fluctuate again quite drastically. It can happen because of other health conditions or because one hormone in your body is way off for some other reason. Toxicity, like some other condition that you could be having. So no, it is always a good idea to go to a doctor. Go to a doctor to get your health checked and your blood work done, okay? They do not understand hormones. They do not understand nutrition. So don't expect them to know about that. You want just like a clean bill of health as your organs are okay. You don't have any disease diagnosis or anything, right? Then don't go on. They try to get you on synthetic hormones. Don't do that. Do your own research first, okay? So first of all, say, thank you, doctor. Thanks for this clean bill of health, even though you feel like crap. Then it's time to see what you can do. So here we go. Some symptoms you might begin to notice when you enter perimenopause. Remember, perimenopause is first. That is the part of your life when you are going through the biggest hormone fluctuations. So that's when your symptoms are the worst. You will have more symptoms and they will be the worst, okay? You go through perimenopause, no one knows how long. Every single woman is different. The thing is that if you don't do anything about this during this phase of life, it may continue for way longer because you are not working with your body to bring it back into better balance, right? When you begin to work with your body to bring it back into better balance, it can come into balance faster and your symptoms will decrease faster and you will start to feel better. That's why I work with women. That's why I work with women and how I work with women. So you can, dianamarchand.com is my website. You can go there. I have some free trainings that you can get. You can also contact me if you want to talk about coaching. I have all ranges of prices and types from one session, which is quite cheap, to a pack of 3 to 6 weeks, to whatever you want to do. Okay. I work with you. Now let's get going. Okay. So some of the symptoms could be headaches, more headaches. So I used to get a lot of headaches, and boy, did they ever get bad in perimenopause, and extreme headaches and migraines. Yes, unfortunately, it's not good. You can get digestive problems. That's one thing that my digestive problems got so extreme in perimenopause. So I had to learn a lot of things on how to handle them and how to improve that. That's what I help my clients with too. So you might notice, oh my God, like all of a sudden I can't eat certain foods. I'm way more bloated than normal. I'm cramping. I'm having gas. I'm constipated, which was a huge thing of mine. Or the opposite, or it goes from extreme, right? Constipated to like diarrhea. And it's just like, oh my God, what's going on? Energy, low energy. All of a sudden your energy could start to plummet, and it's hard for you to wake up in the morning. You're dragging yourself around all day, and then you could be dealing with brain fog, memory problems, right? You walk into a room, you can't remember. You're like, what did I come in here for? I have no idea. That happened to me a lot. And one weird thing that happened to me was I'm a yoga instructor and I was teaching yoga classes and I could not remember the sequence. I completely lost track of where I was. I started speaking backwards. Like I would use words forward, but I would say the words in mixed up order. It was the most bizarre thing. I don't know why that happens. So all these weird things, depression, anxiety, over emotional. You could be crying one moment and then feeling okay. And then really, really sad another moment and then feeling okay. And then angry and stressed. So if you've been pregnant before, yes, you can experience times like those. Again, it is your hormones, right? So all of these things could be going on. Belly fat, which is one I talk about a lot. And that was one that really got me moving and got me out looking for answers and into research and studying a lot. And that's a lot what I help women with is because you do need to change things. You must. What used to work in your 20s, 30s, and early 40s, when you start to go through this midlife change, those things don't work. So like I said, you start to feel so different. You can't handle stress like you used to. A lot of women say they're in overwhelm. They're super stressed. They don't know why. Their life hasn't changed. So you could be, your life could be the same as it was before you started all these changes. And then all of a sudden now you're like, oh my God, why can't I handle this anymore? Why am I more angry? Why am I so emotional? Why am I so stressed, right? That is because of the hormone fluctuating. So your hormones control your moods, control your thermostat in your body. So hot flashes are one that people think are so common. The thing is that hot flashes usually don't start till later in the stage. At first, you will most likely notice some of these other symptoms I'm talking about, right? The over emotional, digestive problems, bloating, cramping. You could get acne. Your face breaks out. So my face began to break out again. In adolescence, I had major problems, skin problems. So things that you might have had problems with in adolescence, they could come back. So mood swings, of course. And then your period. Your period goes wanky all over the place. Sometimes super heavy, sometimes really light. You'll skip 3 months. You may skip 6 months. Then it comes on back. So that is normal. You could have such heavy periods that when you stand up, it's just gushes. You can't even stand up. You can't even go to work. And that it can happen. Now, if it's extended for too long, you have to see someone about it and a doctor. And it's always good to get checked out anyways. And I even hate to say this, but don't rush for hysterectomy or something until you kind of give it a bit of time and just go. So for me and some of my clients, I was a personal trainer at the time and yoga instructor. And I was going through this and some of my clients were too. And I was like, oh, I know, I went through it. I know what that's like. It probably will go away. It's just, I had to miss a couple days of work, sometimes per month. But it's not every month that's that bad, but it can be. So notice that your period is going to change like crazy. That is because you were ending your period. Just like when you were young and adolescent, you were beginning it. And so it was spotty. It was all over, right? So we're just on the other end of it. So perimenopause can last. I started at about the age of 43. It ended at 48. I know that seems like a long time. Now, no, you don't get all the symptoms at once. You do feel out of balance for quite a few years. But that led me to do research, reading, trial and error, trying everything I could imagine to bring my body back into better balance. And I do have a video on my YouTube channel about what I did or how I lost weight in perimenopause and how I handled the symptoms. And if I don't, I'll do one, but I'm pretty sure I do. Because there's so many things you can do. And this is the great thing. It's not hopeless. You're not helpless. You don't have to feel that crappy. So what I want you to also look up is something called adrenal fatigue. Adrenal fatigue. If you are at that stage where you're feeling exhausted, it's so hard to wake up in the morning, and even coffee doesn't keep you awake during the day, and you're just dragging your feet, and you're like, oh my God, I can't, every day you're so tired. And then maybe at night you're like, I'm kind of awake and I can't sleep really well. That could be adrenal fatigue, so take a look at that. It takes a lot of rest, relaxation, and a lot of supplementation to boost your body back up. Really, 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 really common in this midlife. I don't know if I've met a woman who hasn't gone through that in midlife, believe it or not. I did extremely bad because I didn't know what it was and I waited too long. Your doctor does not understand adrenal fatigue or know about it. So if you are feeling that tired and exhausted, like I said, get some blood work done. If it comes back okay, like you want to check your iron, you want to check your thyroid, right? If it comes back okay, then maybe go see a naturopath, a natural doctor, or go to a health food store and look for adrenal supplement, like adrenal fatigue supplements, adrenal support, okay? I have videos on my YouTube about stress. So you can look up those, and I talk about adrenal fatigue because stress causes it, okay? And because your body is going through a lot of extra stress when it's having to fluctuate and it's going through all this big change in your life, big change is stress, right? So that's why often you end up in, and there's a lot more to it, but I don't want to go into that huge today. So perimenopause will last a period of time. And then when you have not had your period for 1 full year, then you are in menopause. And then you are postmenopausal. That's it. Menopause is the shortest part of the whole thing. Isn't that crazy? And that's what we always refer to. But yet menopause is like nothing. It's perimenopause, all the changes, craziness, craziness, craziness. Then you haven't had your period for a year, then you're in menopause, and then pretty soon you're just postmenopausal, and that's it. Doesn't mean your symptoms end. And I believe I have a video on that, the symptoms I still have postmenopause and some of the things that you can still go through postmenopause. And what I want to stress here, there are so many fantastic things that you can do during this phase of life. And really, you are meant to do these things. That it is a time when women didn't have obligations, young kids, and work full time. So you got to remember, hundreds of years ago, we didn't, right? Kids were grown, and we didn't go through it till much later, around 50 or 55. Now it's younger, just like puberty seems to come younger because of all our food and the toxins and the air quality and a whole bunch of things. And the stress. Stress is really brutal for your body. But there's things you can do, you guys. And that's really what I help women with. And that's why I'm so passionate about the work that I do. So much depends on what you're eating. Even the healthy foods, are the ones that cause weight gain in this phase of life because your body metabolizes certain foods differently. That's why all of a sudden you put on the weight and you're like, why? I'm still eating healthy. Like I don't understand why the weight's packing on. And then you begin to crave the sugars, the chocolates and the sugars, and then you eat more of those. And then there's the stress and anxiety, and that just compounds. And then, it's a big whole loop, right? If in perimenopause, this phase, if you do not work on yourself and your body and get things better balanced as best you can, supplements, super powders, superfoods, eating better, avoiding some of those foods that cause the weight gain and the digestive distress during this phase of life, and decreasing the stress and really taking time for you, right? Honoring your body, loving your body, feeding it, fueling it, taking care of it the best you can, the imbalances will stay so much longer. I mean, it only makes sense, right? If you're not taking care of your body's not all of a sudden going to magically get better. So that's why I do the work that I do. Reach out to me, dianamarchand.com. You'll see I have some free trainings on there too. I quite often have programs going, group programs, and I always have one-on-one for you. I hope this answered some of your questions. If you have any more questions, post them in a comment below. I might have forgotten something. But there are a lot of symptoms, but not every woman goes through all the symptoms and to the severity. Like one woman may have really major hot flashes, another one may not. You may have migraine headaches. A friend of mine never did at all. A couple friends of mine don't get headaches. They never had headaches, but they had other things, right? So we are all different. You don't need to compare yourself to somebody else. I'm not sure how long it's going to last because we are different. And it's also up to you how long it lasts, the things you are doing to better support your body. And I can tell you, when I work with women in my programs and groups, they start feeling better within week 1 or week 2. Oh my God. And the crazy thing is, if you don't make the right changes, you will continue to not feel good for a long, long, long time. Right? It's okay because there's things you can do. So be happy about that. Be happy about that. Just reach out to me. And I also have hundreds of videos on this YouTube channel if you really want to, you know, just take time to yourself to look at some videos. All right. So much love to you. Have an amazing day. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification for future videos, and let me know in the comments what you are suffering from, what symptoms, what stage are you in, what is your biggest problem right now, and reach out to me. Okay, so much love. Bye-bye.